Hey, it's Sam from Sugar Spun Run, and today we are making these cute peppermint bark style thumbprint cookies. They're fun, they're festive, and they're easy to make. They're going to look great on any Christmas cookie tray. So let's get started. Grab yourself a large mixing bowl, and to this we are going to add 1 cup or 226 grams of softened unsalted butter. Next, we'll add 2/3 cup or 135 grams of granulated sugar. And today's recipe can absolutely be made in the stand mixer with a paddle attachment if you have one. Today, I'm just going to be using my electric mixer. And we're going to beat together the butter and the sugar until it's light and creamy. Usually beat it on medium to high speed for about 2 minutes. All right, next thing we need is 1 egg yolk. We are just adding the yolk, not the egg white. If you add the egg white, you're going to introduce too much liquid and your cookies are going to spread. I have some people comment sometimes, oh, I forgot what I was doing. I have some people comment sometimes and they're like, when a recipe just calls for the yolk or just the white, I just throw them both in anyway. Don't be that person. That's probably also the same person who comes back and is like, my thumbprint cookies spread and I don't know why. Egg yolk. We will save this for some candied pecans later. We will also stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We'll give the bowl a quick scrape, make sure everything's getting nicely incorporated. Very important anytime you're making anything, pretty much. Every cake, every cookie benefits from scraping the bowl. So 1 more quick mix. Slide this out of the way. Grab a separate bowl for our dry ingredients. Here we're going to combine 2 cups or 250 grams of all-purpose flour with a tablespoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch does a really nice job of keeping the cookie nice and tender and helping it keep that nice thumbprint shape. We're also going to add 25 grams of cocoa powder. I recommend Dutch cocoa for this recipe. Dutch process gives you a better flavor and it feels more like peppermint bark to me. Natural cocoa will work in a pinch. The flavor's not as deep and I don't prefer it. And I'm sorry, that is 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. All right, next, let's add a 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. Go ahead and whisk everything together. Get that cocoa powder nicely distributed. Oh, really nicely distributed. No leavening agents in this, no baking powder or baking soda. That's intentional. I don't think we lost too much. This dough comes together really fast, which is just a nice perk of it. There is a little chilling involved though. We'll get there in a minute. All right, we're going to gradually stir the dry ingredients into the wet. Do this in 3 or 4 parts. This cookie dough is a little bit drier by nature, so it's important that you add the dry ingredients gradually. That way they have time to properly absorb and incorporate. Otherwise, you're going to have a crumbly dough and really cracked thumbprint cookies. Probably should have done that in 2 more parts, but let's see how we do. See, just a quick note, because sometimes with my thumbprint cookies, I'll get comments of people saying the dough is just dry and crumbly. So before we fully incorporated everything, Casey, do you have a good shot of that? It looks dry and crumbly, and you just want to keep mixing until it's well incorporated and smooth. I mean, this is like extra dry and crumbly. Most people can probably tell at this point, but just go further. Keep going until it's clinging to itself. Quick bowl scrape, very important. I'm not saying it just to make you do busy work. I just want you to have really, really good Christmas cookies. That was a little aggressive as I shook everything out of the mixer, but here we go. Let's take a look, quick check. You can see the dough is clinging to itself, kind of forming a ball. It's not dry, it's not crumbly. So we're ready for the next step. What is the next step? It's not baking yet, but we are going to scoop and form the cookies. All right, so before we bake the cookies, we're going to scoop them, obviously. We're going to scoop 1.5 tablespoon size scoops. This is about 28 grams. And go ahead and roll this into a nice smooth ball. You're going to need a wax paper lined baking sheet or large plate, something that will hold all the cookies and that you can fit in your freezer. Go ahead and place the cookie dough on that. And we're going to use the rounded back of a teaspoon to make a nice little thumbprint. Of course, you could use your thumb as well. This just looks a little bit more uniform. And if you ever have trouble with this sticking, like this teaspoon sticking, you can actually dip it in a little bit of granulated sugar. That helps keep it from sticking. You'll leave a few granules behind, no big deal. All right, once you've formed all your thumbprints, we're going to pop these in the freezer. They're going to chill for 30 minutes before you remove them. They can chill longer, but if you're going beyond like an hour, I would recommend covering them with some plastic wrap so they don't absorb any odors and so they don't dry out too much. Meanwhile, let's get our oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, 30 minutes later, our oven should be nice and preheated. Your thumbprint should be nice and firm. We are going to arrange these on our baking sheet, line it with parchment paper. It's my recommendation. And make sure you space the cookies at least 2 inches apart. They're not going to spread a ton. And we are going to transfer these to the center rack of our preheated oven where they're going to bake for about 8 to 10 minutes. As soon as the cookies come out of the oven, you're going to want to use the back of a teaspoon again. Make sure it's clean. Your other one has cookie dough on it. And and gently re-indent the cookies so that those divots stay deep enough to fill. Now we want to let these cookies cool before we fill them. Just going to slide them out of the way, and let's prepare our white chocolate filling, or our white chocolate peppermint filling. You're going to need 2/3 cup of white chocolate chips or a 4-ounce chopped 4-ounce white chocolate baking bar. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, and we are just going to microwave this in like 20-25 second intervals, stirring really well in between until it's completely smooth and melted. All right, once this is smooth and completely melted, we're going to add some peppermint extract. We get that nice peppermint flavor. I was intentional about not putting the peppermint in the cookies. My preference was just to have it in the topping. So this is a teaspoon. Don't go over a teaspoon, it becomes too potent. Stir that in really well. And once your cookies are nice and cooled, we can go ahead and fill the thumbprints. Get a little messy, so I like to put wax paper, parchment paper underneath to catch any spills. Let's go ahead and fill each cookie. You do not have to use like a cookie scoop like this, but if you have one, it makes it nice and easy. Now I also like to melt 2 ounces or 1/3 cup of a dark chocolate or a semi-sweet chocolate, and I'll just drizzle that over each thumbprint. Little drizzle, adds a nice little color contrast. And then I'll sprinkle them with a little bit of crushed candy cane. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you try it, let me know what you think. It's still a little wet. I always love hearing from you. Yes, you want to let the chocolate set and solidify before you enjoy. How long that takes can depend on your kitchen. I want to say, what's it been, Nikki? Like an hour? It doesn't take too long. Though if you're going to try to stack them, put wax paper in between because they get pretty firm, but they can be a little bit sticky. I just realized I'm wearing the wrong shirt. I changed shirts mid-video. This is kind of a hard one to explain. While my cookies were baking and cooling, I may have changed my shirt to make a pink champagne cake and then forgotten to change back. It's a little awkward. This is a great cookie. Today's recipe can be made, oops, you can just tell it's winter by how cold the butter stays. All right, Saucy. I'm wearing the wrong shirt.
No one ever changed their shirt in the middle of the day? Like, come on, like, it happens.
I don't know which one's best, but I do know this cookie's really good.